Hey everybody, before we start today's episode, I just want to say thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're trying to launch a new business or just want to show off what you're into, Squarespace has the tools to help you do it. If you're someone who's into photography, blogging, cooking, or maybe you want to talk about weird movies like me, it doesn't really matter. You can build a website with Squarespace's easy-to-use design tools. They have a ton of different templates available, and they even let you sort by what you do. Whether it's something artistic or related to sales, Squarespace has you covered. They also have a ton of other helpful features like site analytics, password-protected members-only pages, and finance and marketing tools. So if you're interested in joining the thousands of other people who've used Squarespace to make their dreams a reality, just go to squarespace.com/BrandonTenold and sign up for your free trial. Then when your site's looking good and ready for launch, use the promo code BrandonTenold for 10% off your first purchase. Alright, let's get into it. There's some movies where you know exactly what you're getting just from the title. Grizzly, alligator, bats, killer, condom? Okay. And this movie, Octopus. It's about a submarine transporting a terrorist while his friends take over a cruise liner. There's an octopus in there too, don't worry. Okay, so a couple episodes ago I did a movie that most people first saw on the Sci-Fi Channel, so now I'm doing one that premiered on the USA Network, although, honestly, this one also feels like a Sci-Fi Channel movie. Octopus is a TV movie that premiered back in 2000, and that's pretty much all the backstory you need here. The only other interesting tidbit I could find is that the director also made the Project Shadow Chaser movies. And if you don't know what those are, don't worry, I'm sure I'll get to them on this channel eventually. Brought to you by New Image Films. When the Asylum won't produce your movie, you can depend on New Image. And see if you can guess how the movie begins.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States.
That's right, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Sure.
В противном случае, будьте готовы к обстрелу.
Oh hey, I remember this part. This is where Godzilla sinks the sub and the Russians launch a nuclear missile towards Tokyo. Nah, I wish I was watching Godzilla 1985. That's a much better movie. Instead, Captain Soviet Richard Dreyfuss here is transporting a load of what appears to be toxic waste to Cuba. However, he seems to be having some trouble with his crew. Relax, it's fine. Shooting somebody after a hug is actually a sign of endearment in Russia. Before they're able to make it to their destination, they end up getting torpedoed by an American sub and sinking to the bottom of the ocean, where some of the toxic waste barrels get out and start leaking. And you know what that means? Devilfish. I mean octopus. We now cut to 38 years later in Bulgaria, because that was the cheapest place they could find to film in. Our main character is Roy Turner, a young CIA agent who's conducting some important field work, namely perving on young Eurotrash chicks.
Damn, I wish I was 20 years younger.
Yeah, she looks like one of the girls Liam Neeson doesn't save in a movie. And in case you still didn't know this is Eastern Europe, here's an old lady in a babushka. Hey, wait a second. I think that might actually be a guy. Or maybe it is actually an old Bulgarian lady, I don't know. I'm more concerned with the fact that there's a precocious little kid here.
Hi, Roy.
Hey, Maggie.
I need some excitement in my life. Are you going to arrest me?
Great, instead of a Kenny, this movie has a Svetlana. Is this kid gonna be in the whole movie?
Mommy, look, please. Mommy.
Oh, good. Was worried for a second there. And I think there's something suspicious about this old lady.
There she is!
It's a guy, stupid! So instead of a monster flick, this starts out more like an Asylum version of a Bourne movie, right down to the shaky cam action sequences where you can barely tell what the hell is going on.
Oh my god.
Damn, and Henry was just 2 days from being in a real Bond movie. Turner is such a good agent, instead of shooting this guy, he just lets him get away. Wow, even dying Henry is a better agent than you are. Congrats, Turner, you got the perp. Sorta. It was mostly Henry, but he's dead now, so you can probably take the credit. Who is this guy, anyway?
We got the bomber. It's Casper, sir.
Ah, yes, the friendly terrorist. I've heard of him. Now, at this point, you're probably asking, what the hell does any of this have to do with an octopus? Well, instead of transporting Casper to the US by plane, they decided to take him via submarine and have Turner tag along, because if they didn't, there wouldn't be a plot. And that's not even the most ridiculous part. When the sub comes to pick him up, the stock footage shows it's in the ocean, yet Turner's clearly in front of a lake. How powerful are those binoculars? Alright, whatever, we got a sub, now we can get to the octopus. Hey, looks like we got ourselves a party sub.
I make a deal with you, Mr. Brickman. If you win, I take over everything. Totally net.
Yeah, you're not fooling anyone, lady. We know you don't have nudity in your contract.
Stop your grin and drop your linen. Bam!
You got me. Oh, Mr. Brickman, royal flush.
See? What'd I tell you? Alright, listen up, people. We've been given a very important mission, so starting now, I'm limiting your alcohol rations to just 240 ounces per day. Exceptions will be made if you lose at beer pong. I don't want any pussies on my sub.
Special Agent Turner here is from the Central Intelligence Agency. Special Agent Turner here is a regular James Bond in the flesh.
Alright, look, dude, I already made a Bond movie reference, okay? Plus, he's a lot closer to Maxwell Smart. Well, even if he ain't James Bond, Turner still gets a potential love interest.
But right now I have the added problem of finding Special Agent Turner, the spare bunk.
Oh, really? Because I have a spare bunk.
That is if the sleazy porn movie sax didn't clue you in. The only way this could be less subtle is if the movie did this.
Because I have a spare bunk.
Anyway, this is Lisa, an oceanographer who's also tagging along in the sub. Because hey, it'd be pretty gay if just the dudes played strip poker, right? She's here to study ocean currents, something. She's here so Turner can have a love interest.
What's your story, Turner?
I don't really care, so I'm gonna skip this part. Meanwhile, I see they've stowed Casper in the mood lighting brig.
Look, there's no need for all this animosity. We have a bond.
For the last time, this guy is not James Bond. So as you can probably tell, the first half of the movie spends a lot of time setting up characters that are ultimately pretty one-dimensional and forgettable, as well as furthering the whole espionage thriller part. For example, some of Casper's terrorist accomplices plan on hijacking a cruise ship, because hey, if you're gonna mix Crimson Tide with Deep Rising, might as well throw a little Speed 2 cruise control in there. Oh, by the way, there's a reason I brought up Crimson Tide, and it's not just because this movie has a submarine in it. In a few spots sprinkled throughout the movie, some shots of the sub are actually footage from Crimson Tide. So if there's some parts where you think, hey, the sub effects actually look pretty good here, that's because they're from a different movie. And wasn't this movie supposed to be about an octopus? What the hell happened to that? Oh shit, it scared those fish so much it sped up the film. Uh-oh, looks like something's rocking the sub. Quick, somebody save the hot sauce rations. And I think Casper might be trying to escape. Either that or he really wants to jerk off in there. It wouldn't be an underwater monster movie without a scene where some guys go out in scuba suits for repairs and are mysteriously killed by something, which gives us our first taste of the CGI octopus. Alright, again, even though this technically isn't a Sci-Fi Channel movie, it fits perfectly alongside most of them as far as CGI monsters go.
There's a mountain range about 7 kilometers ahead of us now. If I can get us moving in a straight line, we can run through the hills and see if this thing follows.
Do we know exactly what it is that's gonna be following us?
It's an octopus.
Listen, I enhanced the videotape from Lopez and Lucas. As far as I can tell, we're dealing with some kind of giant sea creature.
Again, it's an octopus. Oh hey look, terrorist guy managed to get himself a hostage.
Just take the keys and unlock me.
Don't do it, sir. I'm ready to die.
Okay, even if he manages to somehow get out of this room, where is he gonna go? You're on a submarine in the middle of the ocean.
He will burn.
Not in this lifetime.
Oh shit, he just made for TV'd him to death. Great, not only did Turner let this guy die, but he also gets knocked out by a clearly empty gas can and Casper gets away. Oh, and also the Octopus is attacking. At least I think that's what's happening. It's a little hard to tell with all the fucking shaky cam. It's also not a good sign when the CGI on the display screen isn't much worse than the CGI in the movie. Well, this movie already has one of the actors from Aliens in it, so I guess it figures they're now trapped in the abyss. There's only one way to follow up a situation like this. That's right. Party cruise. Why do I get the feeling the director went on vacation and just decided to include some of his home movies? I sure hope the terrorists are at least having a good time.
What is this? It's your teeth.
That is for not giving us Nutel sooner. Hey guys, a terrorist guy killed somebody and then escaped. I'm sorry, I'm a bad agent, I know.
Casper's gone. What do you mean? He's escaped. He's gone.
Well, you're on a submarine. There's only so many places he can be. What is he, hiding in one of the latrines or something? Or hey, maybe he's in the high school chemistry room all submarines apparently have. Huh. I guess he must have been hiding in one of the beakers. Casper tells her to hack into the sub's computer and launch a buoy so his friends on the cruise ship know where they are. How she's able to do this so easily, I have no idea.
Buddy, I'll teach you to sing happy birthday if that's what you want, okay?
And is she supposed to be scared or on his side now? Thankfully, the captain's able to find him. Oh, and Turner's there too, I guess.
Okay, that's it.
Wow, the captain is way better at this action hero stuff than Agent Doofus. Alright, as much as I've made fun of the bad CGI, there are some practical effects of both the sub and Octopus here. Some pretty obvious practical effects. They kind of remind me of a 60s Gamera movie. But, I don't know, there's something about bad practical effects that I find way more charming than bad CGI. Of course, the real monster in this movie is all the shaky cam so the actors can pretend to rock back and forth. Seriously, it's like half the movie. Well, there's only one thing to do in a situation like this.
No, there is no staying around, man. Look at your station. There is no more station to your heart.
Yeah, that's right. Have an overact off.
You cowards! Every single one of you cowards!
All right, dude, you won. You can stop now.
That's all you got? Come on! Come on! Give me some more. That's all you got?
Okay, is he gonna fist fight the Octopus? Because if so, that would take this movie from mediocre schlocky to awesome schlocky. Speaking of schlocky, remember that bad CGI I was talking about? Yeah, instead of deep rising, this thing needs to keep rendering. Despite everything going on here, shouldn't you still be keeping an eye on the terrorist? Well, that was your own damn fault. Well, the hull's been breached. Time to abandon the movie before all this shaky cam gives me a seizure.
Keep still, Carl! Keep still! Finishing time!
Okay, I think she shot the Octopus. It was a little hard to tell with all the frantic camera work and editing. Okay, know what happened there. See what happens when you hold the damn camera still? Oh, right, the cruise ship. Forgot about that subplot. The terrorists are able to track the sub and control the ship by accessing its computer. And why are maritime vessels in movies so easy to hack into?
Captain, that's affirmative. We've changed course.
Someone's hacked into our mainframe. Firewall, Ethernet, computer stuff. Back on the sub, our main characters make it to the bridge, and apparently everyone except this guy is dead. When the hell did that happen? I saw this one guy off himself, but apparently the whole crew did that. Even more bad news, the sub's nuclear reactor's about to blow. I'm sure it'll have nothing to do with killing the Octopus. They also discovered the Soviet sub from the beginning. Look, no need to tell us toxic waste is what created the Octopus. I think we already figured that out. And where the hell did Casper go? Alright, I guess Casper really is a ghost since apparently he can turn invisible. Fun fact, if you can't afford a fight choreographer, just put the camera really close and wiggle it around a lot. And aha, got you, Casper. Looks like somebody brought a shaky cam to a gunfight. Okay, now that they got the terrorists back, time for Lisa to tell us what we're dealing with.
This thing is a third or fourth cycle mutation of what was once probably an octopus.
You don't say. And here's a twist. Turns out it actually wasn't toxic waste the Soviets were carrying earlier. It was actually anthrax that made it grow big. Sure. You know, I don't even know why I'm complaining. That makes about as much sense as toxic waste making a giant octopus. Sure, fuck it, it was anthrax. They plan on distracting the octopus while they escape in the mini-sub that's conveniently been attached this whole time. But what are they gonna distract it with?
Protolite. It's a high-potency mix of amino acids and minerals, specifically iron. I use it to feed dolphins and whales.
Ah, convenience juice. Very nice. They better get out of there quick. The camera's getting more unstable by the second. Oh, and remember when I said it'd be funny if this guy fist-fought the octopus? Well, turns out it would be a short fight. Man, why's the black guy always gotta die towards the end after several other people die first? Okay, they made it to the escape pod, which I guess oceanographer lady's gonna pilot? How the hell does she know so much about this sub? I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. They also know exactly when the nuclear reactor's gonna blow down to the second, even though there isn't a timer.
Come on! We got 20 seconds!
Okay, I guess you're definitely dead then. Just kidding, of course they make it. And so they manage to escape and the octopus is destroyed. But wait a second. There's still 15 minutes left and they haven't really resolved that whole cruise ship subplot. This movie's not over, is it?
Stay where you are.
Don't make it sound.
Alright, just wrap it up quickly, will ya? I still don't know why this part's even in the movie. Actually, I do know why. It's so they can have a scene where the octopus attacks a cruise ship. That way they can put it on the DVD cover even though it's just the last 10 minutes of the movie. Quick, everyone get one last buffet run in and then abandon ship! Alright, we're almost at the end. This movie might as well go full low-budget schlock and have some CGI tentacles attacking Eastern European terrorists. And I'll bet most of you think an octopus has only 8 tentacles, right? Turns out they have another one in their mouth. Wouldn't be the least believable thing in this movie. Help! I'm being killed by a cutscene from a PlayStation 1 game! As if the CGI octopus wasn't bad enough, we also get some CGI people. Take that, Titanic propeller guy. The terrorists also planted a bomb on the ship, which our heroes plan on using to kill the octopus. I don't know, a nuclear explosion didn't phase it. What's that gonna do? First, though, they gotta stop Casper from escaping.
Oh, come on! Shoot him!
Not in cold blood. I can't.
Good God, you are bad at this, Turner. At this point, the octopus decides to take things into its own hands, or tentacles, or whatever, and kills Casper itself. The monster in this is a better hero than the hero. Okay, now is it over? Alright, you have 5 more minutes, movie. Okay, looks like we got ourselves a pretty simple plan here. I'll take the escape pod with the bomb and enter the octopus's mouth, then swim out through its butthole before it explodes. Easy peasy. Okay, so he's definitely dead, right? Nah, of course he's not dead. I guess he jumped out at the last second, which is somehow less believable than what I said. And don't expect much more of an ending than that, because we get a freeze frame and then the credits start rolling. I'm not sure what the ratings for this were, but it ended up getting a sequel the following year, Octopus 2 River of Fear, where it apparently takes Manhattan. I wonder if most of that movie takes place on a cruise ship. Alright, a couple episodes ago I did the movie Abominable, which is a decent example of this type of low-budget, sci-fi channel-ish monster movie. There were a couple of decent kills, you sorta gave a shit about the characters, and the monster, while still kinda goofy, at least didn't look like its own video game adaptation. This one, on the other hand, is practically a textbook example of a cheesy 2000s low-budget monster flick. The plot is full of holes and conveniences, the characters are all forgettable, and the monster looks like a screensaver most of the time. Probably the weirdest thing about it is that it feels like they started out making a Tom Clancy-style action thriller, and then just shoehorned a monster in there. With the mixture of military types, underwater monsters, and cruise liners, this feels like one of James Cameron's later movies, just with the budget and B-movie cheese factor of Piranha 2: The Spawning. And while there are a couple of unintentionally funny parts, mostly it's just kinda boring. So unless you have an extreme tolerance for monster movie cheese, I'd recommend staying away from this one. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.